Do we all understand what rape is and what constitutes as rape? Also, what constitutes as consent? Is saying nothing consent for sex? Is kissing consent for sex? There's a lot around in the news at the moment. Consent is everything, and there's a big campaign going out there. My name's Rebecca Dakin, and I'm the Great British Sexpert, and I'm here in Nottingham to find out what the people of Nottingham think and if they understand what rape is and what consent is. Yeah, so I just want to find out, what's your understanding of rape? What does that mean to you? How would you define it?
To me, rape is under normal circumstances. Before you have sex with someone, the person has to agree with you that I'm ready to have sex with you. But if the person doesn't agree with you, then that's rape. So it's supposed to be a mutual understanding between both of them before they have sex. Yeah.
As someone forcing something upon someone who doesn't want it themselves.
And how do you know when somebody doesn't want something?
When they're saying no, or they're trying to ignore you, or something like that, I'd say.
So it doesn't have to be verbal. It could be could be their body language.
Yeah, body language, anything to do with that. That can be seen as a bit forward to many girls or even boys as well. So I think it's body language, and also obviously the verbal also comes into it as well.
I guess it's just like if anything kind of happens at all, and like not just when like you're not really in the right mind, or you're saying no or something like that, and then it's like quite forceful without consent.
Yeah, like they're taking advantage when you don't want anything to happen.
So have you got to verbalise the no, or is it still not? Is it still classed as rape if you don't stop?
I feel like you can. I feel like you probably don't have to say like no. Like it's pretty obvious, like in like how you act and stuff like that, and like maybe like your kind of attitude, and like if you like don't kind of do this.
How do you define what rape is? What does rape mean to you?
Personally, I think it's when you don't give consent, or when you're not in a fit state to give consent for anything. To me, it's either black or white. There's no middle ground. There's no blurriness in it. It's literally yes or no.
And how does consent work? Can consent be body language, or does it have to be verbal?
I personally think it is verbal. Especially like nowadays, there's a lot going on with you can be acting like you would give consent, but then you say no. But then people are like, well, what do you mean? So I just think it is verbal.
I think rape is going against someone's permission. So, for example, if someone hasn't given you the right of going there, then you violated their permission to go there.
Okay. And how do you give consent then? How is consent verbal, or can it be
verbal and physical? Because the girl could also give you body language.
Body language,
Yeah.
like I don't know, she might kiss you, or she might just tell you in your ear, or she might just touch you in a way, just anyhow. But you will know if she wants to or not. It's
about
atmosphere.
I find rape when only one of the parties is consenting to sexual activity.
And how do you give consent?
Tricky area, really. Like, I don't know, you don't really ask, do you? Like, I don't know, but generally I wouldn't ask someone.
So it would be body language.
Yeah, body language, yeah, I'd say that's fair.
So how would you say, would you never sort of outright ask?
No, it's just sort of mood kill, isn't it, really? I don't know.
Yeah? And so what's the body language that would sort of say, yes, I'm...
Well, I don't know, if they're sort of getting into your bed, then you got to think they're probably up for it, but then if they say stop, then stops, isn't it? Like, you're not going to force yourself on them.
In your perspective, what do you think that how do you define what rape is?
Gosh, that's a big question. I suppose it's having intercourse with someone when they haven't said they want to.
And is it just intercourse? Because obviously there's other forms of...
No, it's not. So it's anything sexual contact, I guess, where you don't want it, or you are uncomfortable, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, then it shouldn't be done.
And how do you, as a woman, how do you think that you give consent?
Well, it's a tricky one if you've had a bit to drink, isn't it? And there's a bit of, I suppose, blurred lines. But I think no one should feel under pressure to do anything or participate in anything that they don't want to do.
So should it be, do you think you need to get a verbal consent, or is body language enough to say that?
I think body language is enough to say no. So I think if someone is clear in their language in terms of, I don't know, pushing someone away, or body language, not just saying no, because you might not be able to and you might feel under pressure.
So what happens, say if you're at a party and everyone's drinking and you're sort of like, and the girl's saying, oh no, is it easy, do you think, to get that misunderstanding as to what, as to the body language, as to what the consent is sometimes?
I think for boys towards girls, I think there is some misunderstanding sometimes, I think, but I don't know, I think when a boy, I think it can be quite easily seen, I think, personally, at a party.
I mean, guys are sort of in a bit of a position where they don't know, do they have to get a signed bit of paper? I mean, well, there was one guy last night who'd been falsely accused of rape on the programme, and basically he says that now whenever he's intimate with a woman, he actually gets them to record on his phone their name, their, who they are, and that they are consenting, because, it's almost ruined his life and his career. So it's sort of, how do we sort of stop that happening, without,
like, even that, like having, like, making someone say that can't always be like black and white. Oh look, they've said it. Like,
because they could still change their mind.
It's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Good point.
So it won't be like, okay, you've got away with it. You've got them to say that.
You're right, because you can change your. I mean, this is the whole campaign that's out at the moment. Is consent is everything. You can change your mind at any time. You could say yes, and then 5 minutes down the line, you could say, do you know what? I've changed my mind. So you're spot on. That's not even infallible, is it? So that's you. They could say no at any point, but if they're giving you the signs and they're getting into bed, then it's they're saying that we want something to happen.
Yeah, well, that's how I would take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I said stop, you wouldn't force yourself on someone, would you? That's rape.
Yeah, because there's a bit of a grey area at the moment, because people are saying that if, as a guy, some guys are saying, well, if they don't say no, then that means that it's a yes. How do you feel about that?
It's a tricky area, I suppose, because even though they haven't said no, and they haven't said yes, but generally you can tell by how they're acting, and if they're not like doing something bad, then they're probably not down for it.
And do you think guys need to be careful then nowadays and making sure that they get that verbal agreement?
Yeah, definitely, because I know half the time, like, people can get themselves into sticky situations, which is not fair on either party. But I just think it just needs to be a bit more clearer. It's either yes or no, like, yeah.
So for girls sort of leading a guy on and sort of, she's bumping and grinding him at a party and things like that, and he sort of tries to go in and kiss her, and is there any sort of responsibility from a female's part for how she's behaving, do you think?
It's a bit of both really, but at the same time it's not just girls, it's guys as well. Both need to be concerned, like, because guys say no, they should say no as well. It's not just guys. I just think people need to be more careful nowadays, especially because it's all coming about and everyone just needs to be a little bit more careful.
What they did last night is they did this social experiment, and they were showing a guy that had been in a previous relationship with a girl. They were drunk at a party, and afterwards he basically put his member in her mouth and she didn't move, and he was trying to say, well, she was sucking it, so she wanted it, and it's okay. But then in a court, the law, that was rape, because even though she didn't stop it, she didn't actually say that she wanted it. So it's, we just sort of trying to find out what people think.
Yeah, I don't know, like, it's kind of hard. It's a hard situation, because if the girl doesn't tell you what that they want, if they do or don't want to, then it's hard for the boy. But then again, the boy should make sure that the girl wants to do it before they do anything towards a girl, because it can be misconstrued very easily, and then you can end up getting in big trouble. So I just thought that guy did end up getting in big trouble. So I'd say that.
I think guys need to assess it and think this person isn't really comfortable with this, and they'll know, I think. And no, it's not. If someone isn't saying yes or no, that doesn't mean it's yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how do you feel that? Do you think that girls nowadays, do you think that they feel empowered enough to be able to say no comfortably, or do you think there's still a lot of people that find, struggle to say no to someone, but give in to peer pressure?
Definitely, because I think as a young girl particularly, you don't necessarily have that confidence to stand up for yourself and say no. Particularly if the guy's older, or maybe boss at work or whatever, then you don't necessarily have that confidence. That that confidence comes when you when you have better life skills, I guess.
And have you ever been in a situation where you found it difficult to say no? How do you feel about saying no to things like as a woman?
I don't know, obviously like when you go out and stuff like that, there's people that are always like kind of like, oh, love and all this, and try to be a bit like that, but I've always just found like I can handle just being like, no.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
It's been okay. Like, I don't think I've had any problems in that respect. Like,
I don't want this. I say no, I'm not ready for this. But when I'm ready, I'll let you know I'm ready.
Yeah.
So when I'm not ready, I don't want you to force it on me.
Yeah. So you feel comfortable to do that, and you feel assertive.
Yeah, I feel very comfortable when I'm ready.
Yeah.
But when I'm not ready, I don't want it.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt uncomfortable to say no, or do you always feel something that you're able to do confidently, say no, I'm not happy with this, and be able to get yourself out of situations?
yeah, definitely. I feel like I am confident enough to say no, but I know like a lot of girls nowadays just aren't. Even guys aren't like comfortable to say no, but everyone knows just a word. You shouldn't feel uncomfortable to say a word. Like, it's just word and language. You should be able to say no if you want to say no.
What I found today, talking to the people of Nottingham, is that we're all of the same opinion, that when you haven't got consent and somebody isn't saying yes, then that's a no. And if you're ever unsure, then that's a no too. So it's better to be really clear. What the refreshing thing I found is that the girls that I've spoken to here in Nottingham have found that they have been comfortable and confident enough to say no when they haven't wanted sex. So that's refreshing to hear. So if you like this video, please share it and subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. Thank you for watching.